Hey, it's Dave Costa, Renegade Aviator, for a quick safety brief on the TS-11 Iskra jet. First thing we're going to look at, I'll go to the front of the airplane. We have batteries up in the nose. So those batteries, there's 4 latches, 2 on each side of the airplane. This nose cone slides forward, and there's 4 lead acid batteries in the nose cone with a shutoff. If we move back to the canopy, we access the pilot from the left side of the aircraft, as evidenced by the rescue, and there's a handle that pops out, a canopy handle, and all you need to do is turn this clockwise. If you turn this clockwise, the canopy will open. Couple points. Number 1, I should have depressurized the canopy seal. If I did not, for whatever reason, the canopy is going to pop rather aggressively. The canopy is designed to come off the aircraft. There is no positive latch until I show you that shortly. So the best way will be to, if you need to extract me and can't get the canopy up for whatever reason, is to cut through the plexiglass here and here. This is nitrogen over hydraulics. So if you lose nitrogen, or if I lost nitrogen as a part of the crash and you had to extricate me, there's a problem. The canopy will not come up on its own. This canopy is almost 400 pounds. So in that case, you're going to need to lift this canopy by hand. It's going to be heavy, and our recommendation is to put an airbag or something back here that would keep this canopy raised. The only thing raising the canopy is nitrogen pressure. It's held down by hydraulics. I is going to demonstrate how this canopy latches in the up position. The first thing you want to make sure is that red handle, there's one there and there's one in the front cockpit, is all the way back, or the canopy will not raise. And then there are 2 manual braces in the canopy, on the canopy. They come down on each side and then they fit into their own slot. Only one is required to hold the canopy in an emergency, but 2 are preferred. So it stows up at the top, it latches in down below. Now the canopy's safe. Single engine jet aircraft fueled by Jet A. 2 intakes, 1 on each side of the aircraft. You can fight a fire, put retardant or firefighting foam, whatever you're using, down the intake of the engine. Up on the top rib of the aircraft, we have the fuel tank. There's a center fuel tank, holds about 150 gallons, and the hydraulics are up there. There's also 2 fire bottles for the engine. And then the wings hold approximately 83 gallons of fuel per side. At an air show, these wings will be empty. There's the fuel caps. The wings will be empty, and the center fuel tank will have fuel in it. There's your jet exhaust, just like every other jet exhaust, and you can fight a fire through there as well. 2 fire bottles in the tail. Those are activated by the cockpit. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, there's 2 fuel shutoffs on the aircraft. The front and back cockpits are identical. We don't use the back cockpit. There'll never be somebody sitting in the back of the airplane. But you can look at the primary fuel shutoff for the engine. If the engine is running, simply pull that straight up. The other fuel shutoff is the firewall shutoff to the engine. That's the emergency fuel shutoff, and that just gets pulled to the rear. Go. Okay, so for reference in the cockpit, identical to what we showed you in the back, way by my hip is the engine shutoff. It's a fuel valve. You pull it straight up, come forward to the red handle, pull it straight back. That shuts off all fuel at the firewall to the engine. Fire, extinguishers are wired to the hot battery bus. So as long as the batteries are powered, you lift the covered switch, press that button under the covered switch, press the button, and it fires both bottles into the engine. If I was on fire before arriving at the airport, I would have already pressed that button, but you're certainly welcome to push that again. While we're over here, there is oxygen, regular pilot oxygen, and my mask will be attached to this connector. And there's also, way behind me, right down by my hip, an oxygen shutoff valve that you just simply turn clockwise to shut off. The only switches you really need to worry about are the two battery switches. Top left, turn those off. That shuts the aircraft down. We showed you the battery connection forward, and all the other switches, don't worry about. Okay, two sets up. There's a harness and there's a parachute harness. To undo the pilot harness, real simple. Pull this, everything comes away. I'm still in a parachute harness. This parachute is not attached to the seat, so you can either lift me out with the harness, if that's easier, or you've got 3 connection points on the parachute. Let me pull these out of the way. Got a chest harness up here, and then 2 leg connectors with snaps with connectors back here, or just cut the straps. Not going to tell you how to extract people. And then my shoulders simply come out of the harness. So you can either lift me out with the chute or unbuckle me and get me out.